GB News. Electric car sales overtake petrol and diesel as drivers embrace wide choice of affordable EVs. They've received criticism because they're allowing vehicles which aren't electric, they're petrol and diesel, to be counted towards the ZEV mandate. They know very well that the manufacturers haven't got a snowball's chance in hell of hitting the ZEV mandate. They won't hit it now. They're projected to be 300 and some thousand short at the end. That's now. Fortunately, you know, if Reform get into power, they'll cancel all that shit. I'm sure these people, I'm sure they're not real people. Felix, Re, EVs. I think they have like code names. More than 1 in 3 new cars registered in August came with a plug, as British drivers continue to make the switch to electric vehicles and turn their backs on petrol and diesel. New data from New Automotive Electric Car Count shows that zero-emission vehicles captured 26.8% of all new car registrations last month. All that means to say is 26.8% of people are stupid. They've registered a car in the worst month of the year. The month where there will be the most depreciation if you register a car. Anybody who even got the government grant, they'll have wiped that out because it's the old registration. You see, here, Felix Reeves, he doesn't understand the motor trade. Obviously, New Automotive Electric Car Count, they don't understand the motor trade either. Otherwise, they'd know what was going on. Let's just see New Automotive. I think I've seen these boys before. New Automotive. Our partners and funders. Let's have a look at that. Well, fancy that. Energy and Climate Intelligence Unit. Who else have we got? Octopus Energy. ZapMap. The Bright Initiative. The Association for Renewable Energy and Clean Technologies. EVA England. Carbon Tracker. Octopus Electric Vehicles. Do I need to say any more? Yeah? No, I don't, do I? I don't. And then, as I say, we'll look at the team there. For fuck's sake. Wearing trainers to work. What a bunch. Wearing trainers to work and sat at the front there. For a group photo. Anyway, this is GB News. New data from the New Automotive Electric Car Count shows that zero-emission vehicles captured 26.8% of all new car registrations last month. When accounting for plug-in hybrid vehicles, the proportion of new vehicles with a plug rises to an impressive 38.8% of the market share as petrol and diesel vehicles continue to lose favour. The tax advantages, the discounts, to be honest, it's no wonder. Let me issue you a challenge. Knock off all the tax incentives, knock off all the discounts, sell them side by side. Let's see which lose favour. I'm telling you now, it won't be the petrol and it won't be the diesels. You know, you're so confident, do it. But you're not, are you? Because you know this is all crap. Electric vehicles narrowly missed out on achieving the largest market share of the new vehicles, falling narrowly behind with hybrid vehicles securing an impressive 9.3%. GB News. Let me see, when's that? That was 15 hours ago by Felix Re EVs. Oh look. Petrol and diesel costs to remain on UK roads for decades as drivers refuse electric vehicle switch. Okay, who wrote that? By Felix Re EVs, published 1st of 9, 2025. Estimates suggest that 23.7 million petrol and diesel cars could be driving on UK roads in 2030. New research suggests that UK drivers will be keeping hold of their petrol and diesels for almost a decade, potentially plunging electric vehicle targets into chaos. Oh, let's just go. More than 1 in 3 new cars registered in August came with a plug, as British drivers continue to make the switch to electric vehicles and turn their back on petrol and diesels. That data was from New Automotive Electric Car, who have partners like the Climate Intelligence Unit. On average, petrol and diesel plan to keep their internal combustion engine powered vehicles for 9 years. So I'm assuming that somewhere there would be owners. Based on responses from 1,300 petrol and diesel owners, many Britons look set to delay their transition to zero-emission vehicles until after 2030. The zero-emission vehicle ZEV mandate states that manufacturers must have a minimum percentage of total sales come from electric cars. By the end of the year, car brands must have 28% of sales be electric, before steadily rising every year before reaching 80%, you've got no chance, percent, at the end of the decade. The ZEV mandate could impose hefty fines on manufacturers worth up to £12,000 per polluting vehicle sold, which misses the threshold. You see, the trouble is, they won't pay £12,000 to the government. They'll buy carbon credits, which Tesla make a fortune on, and no doubt massively discounted Chinese EVs are being sold in the UK, forcing the legacy manufacturers to discount their cars heavily too, face the prospects of cutting the workforce, not hitting the targets, and they end up having to buy carbon credits to hit the target, which the Climate Intelligence Unit thinks they hit. However, fines are expected to be issued in the coming years as companies can buy credits from manufacturers which produce a higher volume of electric cars to ensure they meet the ZEV targets. Now, I'm assuming that should be fines aren't, because Mr. Reeves hasn't got a f***ing clue what he's talking about, does he? He's like indecisive, what's his name, on the Fast Show. We've got Gordon Banks in gold. What about Peter Shilton?
But who we got?
We've got Gordon Banks in goal.
Banks in goal. Definitely.
Banks, yes.
Right, and I'll go for Adams.
Adams?
No, Waddle.
Waddle?
No, Pallister.
Pallister?
No, Clubman, terrible idea.
No, I like Pallister.
Yeah, he's good.
No, he ain't.
No, he's rubbish, isn't it? Platt, Charlton or Morrow's catching, right?
Make your mind up, Dave.
All right, look, we'll start again then, right?
Right.
Gordon Banks in goal, right?
Got to be Banksy.
Definitely
Right,
Banksy,
number one
right?
shirt, Gordon Banks.
No problem, Gordon Banks. Well, what about Shilton?
He's no idea. He's no idea. Can buy credits from manufacturers which produce a higher volume of electric cars to ensure they meet the ZEV targets. The latest data from the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders shows that new electric car sales achieved 21.3% of the total market share in July, in a month in which total registrations dropped 5% compared to the year prior. It is hoped that the new number plate launched in September, in addition to the electric car grant, will boost uptake in zero-emission vehicles in the coming weeks and months. Research from Sustain found that only 27% of motorists were likely to switch from petrol and diesel to electric in the next 5 years. And even if they do switch, there's a large percentage of them that will still buy petrol and diesels, but they'll be called hybrids and PHEVs. And even though they do more miles on petrol and diesel and only a few miles on electric, they count them as electrics. David Richardson, director of Sustain, said, "Working from the data, if we take it that 27% of the current fleet of ICE cars leaves our road in the next 5 years, that will still leave 23.7 million driving around in 2030. So even if the ZEV mandate goes to plan, around 80% of new cars sold at that point are electric. There will still be 23 million cars on the UK's roads running on fossil fuels. Speaking in the House of Commons at the start of the year, Transport Secretary Heidi Alexander confirmed the government's plans for the upcoming ICE vehicle ban. She said that no new petrol or diesel cars would be sold after... Well, it won't have anything to do with her, because there is no way that Labour will still be in charge then. If they're still in charge by the end of the year, I'll be very surprised. She said that no new petrol or diesel cars would be sold after 2030, while all new cars and vans would need to be 100% zero emission by 2035. Nigel Farage, he'll be in charge by then, I would imagine. That's not going to happen. Labour received some criticism from the motoring industry. Oh, but hang on. Given the allowance of new hybrid cells in the 5-year period before all polluting vehicles are phased out. So again, they've received criticism because they're allowing vehicles which aren't electric, they're petrol and diesel, to be counted towards the ZEV mandate. They know very well that the manufacturers haven't got a snowball's chance in hell of hitting the ZEV mandate. They won't hit it now. They're projected to be 300 and some thousand short at the end. That's now. Fortunately, you know, if Reform get into power, they'll cancel all that shit. The Labour MP for Swindon South added, the need to transition away from a reliance on fossil fuels has never been clearer, and the transition to zero-emission vehicles will play a critical role in quickly reducing carbon emissions and improving our energy security. Buying stuff off Norway? That's secure? Okay. Importing wood chips from abroad? Buying EVs from China who make them with dirty energy. Right, okay. And improving our energy security. It's not just an environmental necessity, but an opportunity for the UK to lead in cutting-edge technologies, representing a significant industrial opportunity for the UK. A significant industrial opportunity for the UK. So all the car manufacturers and they're laying off people. How's that working out? Mr. Richardson added that the policymakers should be doing more to tackle the existing fleet of polluting petrol and diesel vehicles, with one possible solution being sustainable fuels. True. Sustainable fuels are already in operation across the UK in various forms, including with HVO, hydro-treated vegetable oil, lorries, and even E10 petrol found at filling stations up and down the country. None of them know what they're doing. It's all bull. Please don't believe it. If you don't believe me, just do your own research. Don't come on and go. You know, when I say things like, you know, the EVs are ruining the motor trade, don't come on and say bless. Because if you do, you heard of karma? You know, whatever you do, you get paid back. What if your job goes? How would you like that? Again, don't say I'm wrong unless you can point to some evidence, some document, some research, some report that proves me wrong. Work with me. If you think I'm wrong, show me where I'm wrong. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.